Hello class, what's up? It's Raj here. Today we are discussing about the class 6 important topic of the Ncert up there. So first is blowhole. These are the openings on the head of the whales and dolphins. So these are the opening of the whales and dolphins that help them to breathe. So the breathe in, breathe out, whatever they are going with the help of their open circulatory system opening on their heads of the dolphin and whales. So next topic is the respiration. So it is the process of the breakdown from food release energy. Okay. So breaking down of food, its component, other components releasing energy in it. So it is important because it provides energy for the all life processes. So it provides energy for the all life processes. So use of magnets. Magnets help in finding direction. Is the compass needle always pointed towards the north-south direction. So in the pointing of the magnets, these are very useful to keep the direction, the particular direction. For example, a magnet is responsible for the north and south direction up there. So these are the responsibility of the magnet to use the direction, always a particular there, north and south direction. Okay. Next is class magnetic substance. Magnetic substance are attracted to magnet, for example, iron and cobalt. So, for example, if you take in a wood, you put them in front of magnet, but magnet not attracts the particular wood. But in a case of iron and cobalt, magnet attract because of what? Because of these are the magnetic substances. So they are attracting. The magnetic substances are attracted to the magnet. So what ones are depend upon? So next thing that we will competing on for non-magnetic substance. This example I'm taking of the wood is coming in. So plastic wood, these are not attract to the magnet. So for example, plastic and wood are the example of the non-magnetic substances. After that, we're focusing on the decantation. Clear liquid is poured out without disturbing the subtle particle. For example, you are mixing a something soil and water to each other, and after the some time the liquid is poured out, but don't disturb the soil in it. So this is called the decantation. So clear liquid is poured is without disturbing the subtle particle in it class. That's it. After that we are focusing on filtration. A filter is used to separate insoluble solids from the liquid. So in a case of we are using filter, we use to separate insoluble solids from the liquids. So in the case of solubility, we can say that filtration is using just like for example, we take an example of tea leaf. So after the preparation of the tea, we can filter out the tea leaf from the tea that we have prepared for. So these are the example of the filtration. So a filter is used to separate the insoluble solid from the liquid, and examples of filtering tea leaves are there. I hope I understand what I'm telling to you. After that, the type of habitat, first of all, terrestrial habitat. What do you mean by the terrestrial habitat class? Land-based organism is known as terrestrial habitat. Those organisms who are live in land is known as terrestrial habitat. For example, forest, desert. Forest and desert are example of these habitats. So these two things, for example, forest and desert are the example of this habitat class. So these are the important topics to cover it up. And after that, we are saying the types of habitat input. Okay, next. So next topic is class is that aquatic habitat. So this is a type of habitat. The first we are studying for the terrestrial and second is aquatic. So water-based organism is known as aquatic habitat. For example, ocean river are the example of this. So those organisms who live in the water is known as aquatic habitat. The habitation of the aqua. Next is aerial habitat. Birds live in the trees. Based organism is known as aerial habitat class. So all the birds, for example, is here. So class in aerial habitat, there is a birds live in the trees based on organism is known as aerial habitat class. So if for example fly in the air is an example of aerial habitat. Those who are live in the sky is known as aerial habitat. So birds live in the trees is based on organism known as aerial habitats are there. After that, predator and prey relationship. It helps in ecological balance, control population growth. Example, lions are called the predator, control the deer population prey. For example, what is the relationship between the predator and prey? Predator behaves and like, for example, in the forest, you take example of the lion, and the second prey is just like you take example of deer. So in the population reduction, in a case of lion is not hunting them. So there is a ecological balance between both of them. For example, the predator are controlled by the lion and control the deer population by the prey. So these are the relation between the predator and prey. It helps in ecological balance, controlling by the population growth class, and after that, these are example of that the predator-prey relationship. So there is also discovery of magnets. Magnets were first discovered as the naturally occurring rock called the idostone. To call them the idostone, and after that, the ancient Greek and Chinese used to idostone to make early compasses. So early compasses are made in the basis of the idostones that was found is the discovery of magnetism. So how the magnets were first discovered by natural occurring rock. The rock is known as idostone, and the Asian Greeks and the Chinese are used to idostone to make early compasses. So they are make the compass. After that, making a magnet. For example, the method rub an iron ring with a magnet in a one direction several times. For example, how you make a magnet? Rub a iron nail with the magnet in a one direction several times. In a direction you can, you know, these nails become magnetized and can attract the iron flakes only the several times of time. For example, after some time, the magnetic power, yeah, magnetic field of that particular magnet will be detected, yeah, decrease. So these are come in it, making of the magnets. After that, we are focusing on the winnowing. So using wind to separate lighter husk from the heavier grains. For example, the wheat. We are using the wheat and we are separating the lighter husk from the wheat using the soup in Hindi. We are also talked about it. So these are come under that. So using wind to separate lighter husk from the heavier grains. Okay, class. Fine.